When comparing the Apple Watch Series 8 versus Apple Watch Ultra, you'll notice key distinctions in appearance, functionality, battery life, and cost. We can all agree that both watches are dope, but before you choose between them, you need to know what to expect from each one. This video will compare the Apple Watch Ultra versus Series 8 and determine if you should upgrade. 1. Design. To begin, on September 7, 2022, at its event, Apple unveiled the Apple Watch Series 8 and Apple Watch Ultra. When these timepieces were first introduced, people were fascinated by their designs. The distinct designs of these watches made it impossible to confuse them with each other. Unlike the Apple Series 8 and Apple Series 7 design, which is nearly identical, the Apple Watch Ultra design gives Apple's smartwatch series a whole new look. In reality, the Series 8 keeps the same design as the Apple Series 7. Rounded casing edges and reduced bezels to enable a larger display. There are two sizes of Apple Series 8, 41mm and 45mm. On the other hand, the Apple Watch Ultra is rectangular with rounded edges and corners, keeping with Apple's traditional design aesthetic. Apple has made several modifications to the Watch Ultra to make it more durable, including a raised rim around the watch face and a bar to protect the digital crown and side button. It's important to note that the Apple Watch Ultra comes in only a single size, 49mm. In order to accommodate a larger battery, the Apple Watch Ultra is thicker than the Apple Watch Series 8. But does a larger battery size mean a longer battery life for the Apple Ultra watch? We will answer that for you, so keep watching to find out soon. 2. Durability. Now, there have never been doubts about the sturdiness and durability of Apple's watches. The Series 8 is just as sturdy as the Series 7, as both have a thicker front crystal display, making them more resistant to scratches. The Apple website says the Series 8 is tougher than tough. Crack resistance, designed to be strong. Dust resistant, IP6X certification. Water resistant, swim-proof with WR50 water resistance. However, the Apple Watch Ultra is an entirely new beast. It can survive even the most severe environmental conditions. The adoption of titanium for the case Apple Watch Ultra makes it more resilient than aluminum or stainless steel in the Series 8 watch. In terms of durability, the Apple Watch Ultra surpasses the Apple Series 8. If you want a channel that surpasses other channels with the quality Apple content, this is your channel. Subscribe for interesting Apple updates. 3. Battery life. The battery life of the Apple Watch 8 versus Apple Watch Ultra will likely be a deciding factor for many buyers, especially those who plan to use their watches while engaging in physically demanding activities outside. The Apple Watch Ultra has a longer battery life at 36 hours than the Apple Watch Series 8, which is only rated for 18 hours of regular use. A watch with a battery life of more than 2 days has long been a desired feature for the Apple Watch. With the new Apple Watch's low power mode, the Series 8 watch can last up to 36 hours, and the Apple Watch Ultra can last up to 60 hours. This is because the new mode disables power-hungry features like the always-on display and automatic workout tracking. Since we finally have an Apple Watch that can last over 2 days, you may wonder how expensive it can get. Well, just a bit, and a bit can be subjective, so keep watching to find out the price of the Apple Watch Ultra and Apple Series 8. 4. Performance. These watches both have an S8 processor. A few significant improvements in the Apple Watch Ultra give it the impression of being a superior performer. The first is its dual-frequency GPS, which provides more precise position metrics than on the earlier Apple Watches, by utilizing the L1 and L5 frequencies. The other is support for Bluetooth 5.3, which promises better battery consumption and communication than Bluetooth 5.0 in comparable watches. The Apple Watch Ultra includes cellular LTE connectivity. LTE is an option for the Apple Watch Series 8 that can be purchased with or without it. 5. Price. Price is among the most considerable distinctions between Apple Watch 8 and the Apple Watch Ultra. The price for the Apple Watch Series 8 begins at $399 for the GPS-only model and rises with the addition of a cellular connection and a different case material and band. For both the 41mm and 45mm models, cellular connectivity comes with a $100 extra cost. The Apple Watch Ultra, however, has a $799 price tag and only one cellular variant. Of course, the Apple Watch Ultra is not dirt cheap, but it is a better bargain. Tom's Guides describes the Apple Ultra watch like this. The Apple Watch Ultra is Apple's first real stab at an adventure watch. It's got a durable design, a huge 49mm display, an action button, and a host of outdoor sports features to make the watch feel at home on the wrist of a runner, hiker, or Ironman. With 60 hours of battery life, It also has the stamina to keep up, something that's been missing from the best Apple Watches for the past few years. So you see, the Apple Watch Ultra is a complete package. Indeed, the Apple Watch Ultra deal is worth the price. Or do you disagree? Let us know in the comments below whether you consider the Apple Watch Ultra's $799 pricing excessive or reasonable. Although the Apple Watch Series 8 is a good wristwatch, it only adds a few new features over the Series 7. So we would only advise upgrading from a Series 7 to a Series 8 if you're the type of guy who must always have the newest and best watch with each upgrade. Moreover, the Apple Watch Ultra is a very different story. Although many users may find the 49mm display excessively large, its incredible feature set, superior battery life, and titanium finish make it highly alluring, especially at a $799 price point. The 36-hour battery life makes it an excellent investment for everyone who loves huge watches, and perhaps even for folks who don't. Based on the comparison that has been made, the Apple Watch Ultra is unquestionably a more intriguing smartwatch than the Apple Series 8. The Apple Watch Ultra only gets exciting, and there's a lot to discover about the Apple Watch Ultra in this video. Apple Watch Ultra design, siren activation, and multiple functions. Thanks for watching.